Tonight, a new plan has emerged from the White House to arm Ukraine. In an Oval Office meeting with the NATO Secretary General, President Trump said the U.S. would make and send weapons to NATO allies who would then pay for them and, in turn, distribute the arms to Ukraine. The president said he felt he had a deal with Russian President Vladimir Putin to end his attacks on Ukraine several times, but that Putin kept breaking those deals. For more, we're joined by CBS News senior national security correspondent Charlie D'Agata. Charlie, tell me about these sanctions. How are they supposed to work?
Well, they're referred to as secondary tariffs, and the way it would work is the United States would slap 100% tariffs on countries that are still doing business with Russia, like China, India, and Brazil, that still buy oil and gas at vastly discounted rates. And that income is essentially funding Russia's war machine. I mean, as you know, the United States and Western allies have sanctioned pretty much everything they can against Russia since the war began. And it really hasn't affected Putin's attitude toward Ukraine. This could hit much harder, theoretically, but Russia has a large war chest and an even larger military-industrial base. It's also relying on North Korean artillery. So it won't have much of an impact immediately in the short term, but the Trump administration may be banking on the fact that it might be just enough of a threat to force Putin into rethinking his strategy.
Now, let's tell me about the weapons. The president described them as top-of-the-line weapons that were going to go to Ukraine. What are they getting?
Yeah, so the president said all weapons, but he specifically mentioned the Patriot air defense systems, which you and I have discussed at length. So these are capable of intercepting Russia's ballistic missiles. They outclass anything in Ukraine's arsenal. The U.S. used them to great effect to intercept missiles fired at Iran. By Iran at Al Udeid, if you remember, a few weeks ago. It's thought they have around 6 dozen of these systems in Ukraine. They're probably not all operational because certainly the Russians have targeted them. But the president was very specific. He said there are 17 in Europe that could be sent into Ukraine and quickly. This would not only provide defense for cities like Kyiv and Kharkiv, but that might also allow them to push them closer up to the front line in order to protect Ukrainian forces. And that could have a dramatic change on the actual battlefields.
Charlie D'Agata at the Pentagon. Thank you, Charlie.